Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited. Should new pilots pay the airlines to fly right seat on commercial flights? Sun Country Airline pilots are supported by Southwest Airlines Pilots. And shocking news about a mini drone pilot. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm Ashley Hale. We often hear about airline pilots wanting higher wages, but here's a case where the airlines require the pilots to pay them for the privilege of flying their airplanes. There is a growing trend in Europe that requires young pilots to pay an airline for flying its aircraft and passengers. The European Cockpit Association strongly denounces what they call an unacceptable practice used by airlines and intermediary agencies in Europe, and calls upon EU decision makers to ban such pay-to-fly schemes. These schemes, also called self-sponsored line training, require newly trained pilots to buy a package of flight hours to gain flight experience. Usually these flight hours are for the purpose of becoming type rated on a specific type of aircraft. ECA President Dirk Polajek said, quote, "Airlines are constantly reinventing models to get cheaper labor, like hiring self-employed or fake self-employed pilots on temporary work agency contracts, or on zero-hour contracts," end quote. The European Cockpit Association wants this practice to stop. As the pilots of Sun Country picketed Friday outside of Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, the Southwest Airlines Pilots Association announced support of the Sun Country Airline pilots' efforts to obtain an improved contract. It's claimed that SCA pilots are the lowest paid FAR Part 121 Boeing 737 pilots in the country and have been in contract negotiations for more than 5 years. In February, the SCA pilots voted nearly unanimously to authorize ALPA to call a legal strike if necessary, upon a release from mediation by the National Mediation Board and the expiration of a cooling-off period. The union claims Sun Country management has failed to offer industry-standard fair compensation to pilots despite doubling the number of aircraft and profitability in recent years under new ownership. After the break, don't mess with the park rangers in Hawaii.
AML's patent-pending wireless induction charging system eliminates confusion over those charging cables, cuts down cockpit cable clutter, and allows you and your passengers to fly cordless and eliminate the cable nightmare. www.aviationmodificationleaders.com.
The KSN 770 is an affordable, WAS-enabled integrated MFD with a flexible hybrid user interface from Bendix King. Get your fingers on the 770's perfect blend of touchscreen and hard buttons. Easily control your GPS navigation, Navcom, weather, traffic, and terrain in any condition. For more information, go to bendixking.com.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you have a story suggestion for Airborne Unlimited, send an email to news-spy@aero-news.net. Here's a story about a drone operator that's shocking. A man on a family vacation in Hawaii was pursued and tased by a park ranger at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park on Saturday after flying a 3-inch micro quadcopter over the rising lava lake at Halema'uma'u Crater to capture some images. It's reported that while most witnesses to the incident say the ranger used excessive force, park officials contest that Travis Sanders was jeopardizing public safety by taking pictures of the lava lake with his tiny aircraft, and the action was justified by his behavior. The report indicated that it is in fact illegal to fly an unmanned aircraft in all 407 national park units across the United States. It appears Sanders was instructed by a park ranger to stop flying his mini drone. There seem to be varying reports as to whether the park ranger or Sanders became confrontational, but the final result was that he got zapped. We're sure that discussions will continue regarding who was right and wrong. It's Thursday, which means that it's time for an Aero Community Update, highlighting news and information about the incredible people and organizations that populate the Airborne Partnership Initiative behind Airborne Unlimited. This week, we want to reiterate how pleased we are to have the Aircraft Electronics Association, known as the AEA, as part of our Airborne Partnership Initiative team. When we look at a new aircraft, it seems that we look at the cockpit configuration, instrumentation, and avionics before we count the rivets or check out the engines. Aviation has become a world of electronics. Founded in 1957, the Aircraft Electronics Association represents 1,300 member companies in 43 countries, including government-certified international repair stations specializing in maintenance, repair, and installation of avionics and electronic systems in general aviation aircraft. The AEA membership also includes manufacturers of avionics equipment, instrument repair facilities, instrument manufacturers, airframe manufacturers, test equipment manufacturers, major distributors, engineers, and educational institutions. As we move toward changes in our entire navigation system, the AEA stands strong to represent the avionics industry and serve the aviation community. After these messages, UAS manufacturer wants FAA type certification.
Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Now certified, Aspen Avionics single-band ADS-B, ATX-100, and ATX-100G transceivers are the next-gen ADS-B solution that provides the features pilots need while keeping flyaway costs low. Check it out now at aspenavionics.com.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we summarize some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Aerokinetics applied for FAA type certification of their latest generation multi-rotor vertical takeoff and landing unmanned aerial system. They say they want safe, airworthy aircraft operating within the national airspace system. The House Armed Services Committee wants to cut the budget for next-generation Air Force bombers. This would lead to a delay in replacing the aging B-52 and B-1 fleets. The KC-46 tanker program has also been slashed by budget cuts. Launched from New Zealand, NASA's massive new super pressure balloon flew east and reached Australia 1 month later. It carried 5,000 pounds of scientific tracking and telemetry systems and cruised at an altitude of 110,000 feet. Textron reports first quarter earnings of $3.1 billion. This is up 48.4% from the first quarter of 2014. Textron's Scott C. Donnelly said, quote, Operationally, we achieved significant margin improvements at Textron Aviation and Industrial, end quote. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's move on to the rest of the news. The Cessna Caravan will soon have an option to use lithium-ion batteries. TrueBlue Power has filed documentation with the FAA to secure an STC for the company's TB44 advanced lithium-ion battery on all Cessna 208 and 208B Caravan aircraft. The TB44 is a replacement for the NiCad mainship battery currently used on Caravans. In addition to significant weight savings, the TB44 provides benefits to Caravan owners and operators, such as power, less weight, higher voltage during engine starts, and superior performance at low temperatures. TrueBlue Power is the first company to achieve both FAA and EASA technical standard order certification for lithium-ion mainship batteries. Well, all good things must come to an end, or at least a transition. When I started working on Airborne 4 years ago and Aero-News before that, I really couldn't have imagined the people I would meet, the places I would go, the things I would do, and the adventures I would have. And yes, it's been quite a ride. And well over 400 episodes of Airborne, and now with the advent of Airborne Unlimited, I've had the chance to help Aero-News start building a brand new innovative future for all of you in aviation. And I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. But now it's time for me to step down from Airborne Unlimited and make a new future for myself. So tomorrow I start by handing over the left seat of Airborne Unlimited to Brianne Cross, who got quite a familiarization experience at Lakeland with us last week. She's a very talented woman, and I know Airborne Unlimited will thrive with her at the helm. I've had a great time hosting this show, and I appreciate all of you who've been so supportive of me. And while I'm off to a whole new adventure in my life, I promise to pop in now and again to make sure that you're all getting just as much out of aviation as you possibly can, which is what ANN, Aero-TV, and Airborne have always been about. Thank you so much, and as always, remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily, Monday through Friday. Please join us in a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.